Okay, I should be live. Let me know, people, if I'm live. Okay. Good morning for people who are on this side of the planet. And then good evening to people who are on the other side of the planet. And on whatever time if you're in outer space. Okay? Okay. Let me know if I'm live, because it's telling me I'm live. I'm not sure if I'm live, but... Hi, oh, okay, so I see hi, so that means I'm live. Hi, hi, hi. Dear people. Okay, let me see what people have been talking about before I came online. Oh, okay, oh, wow, okay. This is scrolling really fast, so if I'm not catching your stuff, just type it multiple times, okay, if you're asking me stuff, because currently at this speed, my eyes are like not very good at catching it. Set alarm. So, hello to everyone, wherever you are. Portugal, oh yeah, afternoon. Okay, yeah, I know this is like a working day, so it's not like the best time to stream. But on weekends, I literally have no time because every weekend I'm swamped to make videos. Yeah, it's just this is as much as I can do. Yeah, so this stream has a different thumbnail than most of my other streams because it's just talking about this specific drama. I did this last week on China's. There's an app called Kala, which is you can do video, but mostly people do audio and just voice only stream. And Wednesday last week was when I did that. And it was China's nighttime and my morning time. I got up at 5 a.m. and I did a stream chatting about the drama. So that was up to episode about 12, 13. At the time that how many episodes have aired, and I stayed online with my friend, good friend of mine, also bilibili video content maker. We stayed online and chatted 4 hours. 4 hours non-stop. That was crazy. Obviously today it's not gonna go that long because I'm on camera. I can't be on camera for 4 hours. I'd be melting at the end. So, but I thought, you know, wow, so many hi from Indian. Because I thought like, you know, I need to do one on YouTube too, just to make it fair. We are at the slightly past halfway mark of the entire thing, 36 episodes. So we are now, if you're not paying extra money, you're watching episode 20 in China. If you are, well, it's only 21 because tomorrow they're gonna update another 4 episodes. So it's gonna go into 25. And then, yeah, we are ending this show the week after. So not next week, but the week after in China. That will be on Tuesday, I think, in China, if you pay extra money. Again, if you don't, it goes on, like, it shows up on Friday, so. Not a big difference between people who pay money and not pay, but honestly, like, once the drama comes out, right, it's everywhere on the leaked websites. So, like, does not matter if you pay or not paying. You're watching the end of it in China the next Tuesday, on next Tuesday, yeah. So that's a Word of Honor's current airing schedule. And I know a lot of people are here, so forgive me if I don't catch everyone's chat. I think it's a happy ending, because Xiao Babi, wow. Okay, you ask a happy ending. If you read this, there's an interview with the scriptwriter that's on Weibo, and she clearly said it's a happy ending, and she didn't intentionally, like, it's not her thing to intentionally make a bad ending. It's gonna be and in her version, it's gonna be very sad, close to like the penultimate moment, but eventually it's gonna go to the happy moment. So it's gonna get really tragic, but then it's gonna get okay. That's her version. And okay, My computer is telling me I updated the system yesterday, okay? And it's stupid. And then, because Windows tries to update you every day, which is just stupid. Never happens to Mac. Let me look at it, because it gives me a notification. I'm like, I am not gonna do the restart now. It's stupid. Thank you for your super chat. Let me just check my system in case. I don't want it to doing stupid updates now. It's just the one thing I don't like about Windows computer, okay? So let me sort this out. Let me sort this out. Okay. Okay. Let me sort this out. And okay, I'm gonna do that. So hopefully it's gonna be okay. Come on, computer. Okay, should be fine. Okay. Huh. Yeah, this is why I don't like Windows. Just like it tries to update you every day. I'm like, come on, seriously. Well, 好喜欢你, ooh. I think that's like a meme now. Everybody knows, right? Even if you don't speak Chinese, it's like, ooh. Talk about like bad singing. Somehow bad singing can become a thing. Yeah, so if you're listening to the ending song, right, that's Somebody Two Actors. It's so funny because everybody in China is like, Zhehan, you did a good job, because he actually graduated from musical major. So he did learn performance, but it's not film acting, it's like musical, so clearly he can sing. Gong Jun's singing is just, I don't know how much post-production they've done, because he almost sounds like totally auto-tuned to the point that you can't tell that it's his voice. And he has this way of singing that's just straight, like, there's no technique of any kind. He just, la 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 la, he just sings like that, which is so funny. He can't sing. Okay, his voice is okay, but he really cannot sing properly. It's very funny. 李然正气, yes. Barbecue, yes. He has that like I'm a soldier type of singing. So a lot of people are throwing the chat. So today we're just gonna focus on the drama, obviously. I was thinking we can talk a little bit about book versus drama. Can talk a little bit about the casting, because I think the casting is really interesting for this drama. We can also talk about, obviously, more specifically about these two's acting and like with the script writing, kind of, because it's the same thing, really, when you think about it, right? It works together. It's very hard to say what part works for what purpose. It's almost like everything comes together. It has to be like that, because the successful dramas are like that. What else? And then we can also talk a little bit about sort of forecasting for the BL drama adaptation land that we have. That is heading towards us as a big train. We probably will have another one coming out next month. Highly likely would be the Husky and his tutor, Immortality. But we're gonna leave that to the end, okay? So, I haven't been watching the chats because I've been talking. Now I'm gonna stare at the chat. So if you typed something you really want me to look at, you can type now. And I'll keep my eyes on it for now. Fan. I think my fan is probably the same size or slightly bigger than the fan that Gong Jun has in the drama, but because I'm small, okay? So it looks gigantic in my hand. Look how big the fan is. Whereas in his, like his hand is gonna cover this much of the thing, but. And I noticed in the drama, like he does the playing with this. And while they filmed it, they had a rubber band on his finger to allow him to do the turn of the fan like that. And then he practiced that all the time until the point where he doesn't need, I think, that rubber band and he can still do it. Then he let it go. Because while he was filming, if you play that and it keeps dropping, it's gonna destroy the fan. So they had a rubber band tied to his finger. And he just keeps playing with it until he doesn't need it anymore. Which is really cool. Still, I don't know how you do it. Because like if you do this, right, with your finger through, it totally works. You know, like if you wanna do this, that's okay. But how do you like turn it on the flat side like this? I don't know. I don't see how that's possible, but well, maybe it's possible. I don't know. I think that's what you call exploded. Yeah, it's definitely exploded within the BL watching community. But if you're talking about like breaking through all circles to people who never watch his drama, not yet, I don't think. And I don't see how that could happen, really. Because like my parents are not gonna watch this. Doesn't matter how popular it gets, and it's fine. It's really acceptable. Thank you for super chat. Somebody I think sent a super chat that I missed. Shoot. Okay, NY. Yeah. Finally got good acting. Oh, somebody just said thank you with. You don't have a question. Okay. My man loves me 1. Oh, cool. Thank you for your super chat. What a blatant name of claiming, hey? Okay, so we're gonna talk about the drama. Okay, focus on this drama. Let's first talk about a little bit about the book and the drama, because I don't think I'm gonna make a separate video on that. I just don't think it's like there's that much worth talking about in terms of book versus drama, but I'm gonna talk about it here, and then you know I'll leave a timestamp for people to come later, because yeah, all my lives are on my channel. I never delete my lives. It's all my criminal evidence for the future. Okay, so if 10 years later somebody want to dig something out of what I said and then witch hunt me, it's all there, huh? I don't delete my lives, so it's gonna be there. Book versus drama. I don't know how many of you have read the book, because I'm not sure where is the good translated version that's reliable. The book was written back in 2011, so it's quite a long time. And back then, Priest was still a student at university. When she updates her chapters, right, she would leave sometimes a message every day. And you can read that. It's really funny. It's like, tomorrow I'll have a presentation. Tomorrow I'll have a test. You know, I need to go and do this. Oh God, I got sick. So she was like at school when she wrote this. It's one of her earlier stuff, really, really early on drama, novel. And when you compare it to her much later stuff, it is relatively speaking naive and simple. Okay, in all kinds of ways, like characterization, the story's plotting, what kind of like topic like it focuses on. It's kind of like much younger version of her writing it. So when I read this book, which was after the drama aired, I went to read it very quickly over like 2 days because it's really short, like compared to her other stuff. Okay, and after I read through it, right, it didn't really leave me a really strong impression. Either the plot or like neither the plot or nor the characters really gave me a very strong feel of like, okay, I get them, or I have a very clear mental image of what they may look like or what they would like in my mind's eye, playing a visual generated story. It just doesn't quite work. But I was okay with the plot and stuff. I was just like not very impressed, but it's okay. So after I've read it, and at the time drama has already started airing about 6-8 episodes, I haven't yet fallen into that big pit of Word of Honor. So I was like, 天涯客, if they totally copy the book, which I see they aren't doing that, because by episode 8 you can tell they have changed stuff. So it's like if they keep mostly to this book, it's just gonna get really draggy and uneventful in a way. And 36 episodes, right? I thought you would have to add a lot of watering down of the content if you don't really necessarily add a lot of essential stuff. But yeah, the scriptwriter just went quite far to make the story thicker, right? But in a good way, like not unnecessarily adding useless romantic lines, female roles, pointless conversation that lasts half an hour long, you know, not adding those. Typical Chinese dramaland stuff. She put a lot of work into detailing the supporting roles that are very two-dimensional in the book and pretty much like just a name. A lot of the characters in the book is just a name. You don't even like quite figure out like what they look like, their age, like it's just like blur. And they come out, they do something, they die, or they go away, and their function is solved, and then move on. Whereas this scriptwriter really put a lot of work on making each person that's important to the story stand out, right? Their specifics, what they feel like, and what type of person, and they add a lot for the important supporting roles. So it does make the original story more complicated, and the sort of overall perspective on this world becomes much more enriched than the book version. So if you haven't read a novel, I would say you don't really need to, because I think the drama version so far is better than the novel in terms of its plotting, characterization, the juicy stuff, the ups and downs, the pacing, and everything. Like, the general things are still kept the same. The bigger arcs, the bigger setups, and what it's leading towards is still pretty much the same, but a lot of details are changed and made better. So you really don't need to read the novel. I would say it wouldn't add much to your experience. It would only pretty much just spoil you for the ending. I don't think they changed the ending, so the ending would still be the same, but that's the function of it. So you don't have to read it. And that's pretty much the difference between book and drama. And there's also like some very big changes that has been made. For example, like the character played by Zhehan, the white-haired, red-dressed, sort of kind of like the adopted mother of Wen Kexing. She is a he, I think, in original book, and like pretty much just like come out, has a name, does something, dies, go away, that type of role. Whereas in this one, definitely more, and I'm not sure later if she's gonna get like bigger moments and you're gonna know more about her background story, although now you know already. So like some kind of changes like that, it's like really big. They really just changed the whole thing. And then what else? Yeah, and so first let me know like what episodes are you up to, because I know internationally it hasn't gone as fast as the Chinese version due to subtitling and all that. So first let me know what is the pace of pretty much everybody here. I have to think about like whether I should spoil it for you. Oh, okay, 12. All right. If most people are at 12, I'm not gonna spoil it. I don't want to destroy it for you, but they do. Wow, okay. Some people are up to speed to 21, which is the furthest they've gone. Most people are at 12, so I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm just gonna say at this point, by episode 19, 20, 21 is really the first big exposition of Wen Kexing's kind of background story, like where he comes from, the parents, his heritage, and they changed that. The scriptwriter changed what is in the book, but I think also for better. And it's not a significant change in a way that will affect, like it doesn't totally switch or turn his relationship with Zhou Zishu upside down. It doesn't do that. It adds a little bit of something that did not exist in the book version, but it doesn't heavily impact their current relationship. So I think it's a very clever way of doing it, and it is done with a lot of it is done with the idea, I think, first is to not really just to create because if you've watched to episode 12, you know already, they know each other, like they've met before. It's just like they're not, like, I think Zhou Zishu is not aware of that, whereas Wen Kexing is aware of that. You know they've already met, which is not like the book. The book, they met as adults, they never met before. So this, you already know that. But in the episode 19 to 21, it explains to you what happened that resulted in this situation. I think the writer did this for a purpose. First is to, because later they're all gonna go to Zhou Zishu's 四季山庄, the 4th season manor, and it's trying to give Wen Kexing's character a place to go. He's a person without like any places to go, really. Like he doesn't belong anywhere, even though he's the owner of the Ghost Valley, right? So they add that is to make him more, like, in a way, like connected to the human world. Otherwise, he really has nothing that connects him to that. Obviously, adding a little bit of that childhood thing, sometimes it's a really dangerous thing to use because it's very tropey. But I think the version they did in this drama is okay. Like, it's not very tropey. It makes what it does is it makes, if you go back to episode 1 now to watch it, you'll realize it makes it more make sense for Wen Kexing to act so weirdly right from the first moment he comes across, when he was like drinking, right, and then watching, and then looking at the beggar guy, and suddenly get interested because he noticed him fighting with Xiang and his steps. And if you now go back to episode 1, it will make sense why he would be so intrigued and he would follow. I think this is a very clever way of the scriptwriter, because in the original book, this is not there. He literally just follows Zhou Zishu because first he recognized this must be a really good looking person due to the shoulder blades, which is just like, okay, fine. And then obviously he's impressed by this person's skill. He wants to know, what kind of background this person is. So he doesn't know Zhou Zishu at all. He just, and he likes men. Okay, that's the setup of the original story. Is Wen Kexing is for that. So, but obviously in the drama you can't make this character come out and, the reason I chase another guy is that I'm for men, it's just not gonna work. So you have to find a logical reason to make a random guy that pops into another guy's life suddenly become so interesting for him to be like just chasing him like that. So what kind of reason can you give, right? Apart from really the most possible reason is, oh, he might be the person I used to know many years ago. I want to find that out. So that's like really makes sense. But once you have that, then you have to explain how they met when they were children, and then how it didn't end up anywhere, and they were like separated for so many years, so that they don't, like, Zhou Zishu has no idea anymore. So you have to explain that. But then you don't want to destroy the original story too much, which is making them like a really good friends at childhood, and now, then that doesn't make sense too, and that's old trope. So the writer wrote a version which is like making it logical that on the Wen Kexing's side, he will have a much stronger impression of Zhou Zishu than vice versa, and it will be important to him for him to later trying to find out if this is the person that he used to know, but not affecting too much of the of like when they meet as adults, how they develop the relationship. So I think the scriptwriter did her best, trying to pull all the logic, like make it make sense. So now, when you've watched episode 19 to 21, you go back to watch episode 1, rewatch the first couple of episodes in their early stage of encounters. It's just so obvious, like the actors are playing this setup that will be reviewed later. Which is, I already know, like I recognize who you are, and I'm just teasing and I'm just trying to figure it out, but you don't quite get it yet. So, it's like not a hugely difficult thing to do, but like 99.99999% adaptation scriptwriter in Chinese drama land doesn't bother to do that. Like they literally don't care. right there. Hey. I'm so happy. Like, it's like, when you think about it, is it difficult? Is it complicated? No, it's like really, really, really logical, but like people just don't bother to do it for most other dramas, okay? So we're so lucky that Word of Honor just bothers to do that. Okay, so I've said a lot already. You can tell I'm really excited. I think my voice is like at a bigger pressure volume than usual. Yeah, the Scorpion King is really well written and then played by the actor too. If you go and read the book, you probably will not have any impression of this person. Like, when I read a book, I have no image in my head. I just know there's a bad guy who's gonna work with another bad guy to F up the ending, and then, you know, like, for the ultimate fight to happen. I have no impression of this person at all. I don't know, like, how tall he is, what he looks like, what he dresses up like no idea. Blur, okay? When you read a book, it's total blur. Everybody is pretty blur apart from the couple of leading roles. But in this drama, okay, he's somebody who has been basically picked up by his adopted father, okay? His father is a master of, he's a pickup artist father. Gaslighting. It's like just so, and he has so many adopted sons. It's like the master management of all the adopted sons, and it's so cool because in the book that doesn't exist. That weird, yeah, sugar daddy kind of relationship doesn't really, you know. And I'm like, when these two show up, I'm like, okay, are you another CP? It's like, how many CP do I have in this drama? This is really cool. It makes the bad guy more interesting. For sure. Yeah, you can tell me I'm excited. I haven't been this excited for more than a year and a half. Because last time I was in the BL drama was Untamed. That was summer 2019. And the entire 2020 is a year of the greatest cops in the whole world's history. Since I was born. So, like, you know, there's nothing to feel very excited for the entire 2020. Although there are a lot of dramas that are very good in 2020 in their different ways, I didn't have a CP to ship for the entire year, honestly. Apart from the early March, my roommate is a detective that I shipped those two, but for a very short period of time. And Winter Begonia is just so not shippable. Like, it's watchable, right? It's fun, but I just can't ship those two, like, middle-aged men couple. Doesn't quite work. So my 2020 was starved for CPs. I was so starved for CPs. So, you know, like, this is like the revengeful, okay, action from my starved psyche. What can I say? I don't watch Thai BLs. I know they're good. It's just like I don't have time. So for most people who are asking me if I watch other dramas, any other, like, I try, but honestly, it's very hard. I don't have time. Like, I film my own video. I do research. I film. I edit. I subtitle it. I do all the edits, like all the photoshopping, all the drawing of my stuff, like one person. From beginning till the end. No one else helped me. I only have 24 hours. This is as much as I can do. So. Okay, so book versus drama. Okay, that's like the first thing I want to talk about. Then, let's move on to talk about the cast. Yeah, the Japanese ones are good too. The cherry one, those two guys are so good looking. Holy moly. Okay, let me breathe. And we're gonna talk about the casting now. Honestly, I promise my viewers is like no matter what happens, I will always tell you my honest opinion about whatever drama I watch. Okay, I may like tune down the level of criticism for the videos I make because I'm much more cruel. Like honestly, when I'm talking to my friends, the people like I know who understand like what level I am at, like in my words and language. So I am much more brutal at talking to my friends. But when I make videos talking about dramas and stuff, I tend to tune it down. But if it's positive, it's still gonna be positive. And if it's negative, it's still gonna be negative. I'm never gonna tell anyone like dishonestly, like I don't like something, but I'm gonna tell you I like it. No, okay, it doesn't work for me. So my honest opinion, if you've been watching my videos and then following my posts here and there, right? You know, like at the beginning, I'm like very impartial to this drama. Pretty much up to, I think by episode 6, I start to get, okay, there's probably a little bit more than what I expected. I didn't really completely fall until episode 12. After they've had that scene by the street, when they had the drink and had that talk, that was it for me. I was like, after that scene, okay, this drama is moving to a different category in my brain. Like my compartmentalization functioning is switched open, and it's like, okay, put it in that bucket. And then from then on, my life is like a mess. So what I can tell you is, the second, well, that's the day I posted, but pretty much on March the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 4 days consecutively, I put out 4 videos about this drama on Bilibili, different types, okay? And for those 4 days, I had like no life. I slept like what, 4 hours a day? And I didn't do anything else, apart from editing and editing and editing. Yeah. This is what happens to me, but it's fine because it only happens probably once a year or even less than that, once a couple of years. So when it happens, you know, I'll just take it, because next time, who knows when, you know. So yeah, that's like, it's like me. It's just like, if I start to react, it's explosive. It's like I'm a quiet atom bomb that just sits there, okay, for most of the time. But if it's initiated, well, I can't even control it. So talk about the casting, okay? So at the beginning, I saw those two like last year, right? And also if you watch my BL summary video that came out earlier February, I talked about what my opinion about that. In that video, I said Zhehan. I didn't even talk about Zhehan. I think I talked about Gong Jun, which is like his contemporary BG dramas are terrible. Like his acting is wooden. He's like a wooden stick that has a mouth that talks, and he stares blankly into the air, right? So I was like, how is this gonna work, right? And also it's Youku production, and nobody really had any hope for it. So I was like, probably it's just gonna be a failure. Okay, that's my honest opinion at the beginning. I mean, I can tell like they're good looking for the show, but I thought it's just gonna be a very, very average production. Had I known more about who the scriptwriter is, and obviously she's not famous, but if I like had I known like about her background and also what she like, then I will have a totally different opinion. But at the time, there was literally like no information about who the scriptwriter is, so you can't even research that. Like I tried, I couldn't find any information. So I had no good like expectation of this. Pretty much zero expectation. So I think like at the early stage, that really helped because you have no expectation and it turned out to be okay. It's like better than you expected. So that at least it keeps you there. And then once it managed to do that, then well, well, you know, it happens later. For Zhang Zhehan, my sort of good impression of him comes mostly from Nirvana and Fire, although he only plays Ling Shu for a couple of scenes, right? Literally a few minutes entirely. But because NIF is so special to probably every Chinese drama watcher, I always remember him as Ling Shu, although he's done so many other roles afterwards, contemporary drama, period drama, and I know them. Particularly recent years, like he acting with Zhu Ye. Those two period dramas that are embarrassingly that's due to the whatever crap that script is. So my good opinion is still with that. And then his later works I just never connect with me. And the one that 谁都渴望遇见你 that happened last year with Zhang Ruonan, the contemporary drama, it was just so bad because that drama is like awesome. Script is written by somebody who just has no and he plays this 霸道总裁 character, this muscly like CEO. It's just so ridiculous, that drama. So like I had no expectation. I just thought he's okay. I think he's like an okay actor. He just never did a good role. And so now it's another period drama for him. So I was like, okay, let's wait and see. Holding like the expectation at 0. Whereas Gong Jun, my expectation is at minus. It's like under the the sea level kind of level. Cause his BG acting, let's be honest. With the wooden dubbing and his blank stares, I was like, he's a really good looking guy. I have to like, you know, I have eyes, so I have to acknowledge, very impressively good looking and pretty much like made for camera, face, body shape, like ratio, everything, profile line. He's pretty much like a 360-degree angle, no dead spot actor to film on. So he was a model for sure. Like you can tell people use him because he's really good on camera for all kinds of things. Now people have dug out like the paint, pizza, KFC, clothing, all kinds of weird brands that he's done for like ads, right? So he's a good looking guy, like no question about it. But I was like, his acting is just like, like no, this is gonna be terrible. Okay. Well, what can we say? You know, maybe it's just their time, or maybe for this particular crew, people just tend to have a really good chemistry working together, that there's something right behind it that is not tangible, and it just happens to be they really work off each other very, very well. And probably also I think the director, because if you look at the two directors from, I think they're both from Hong Kong or Taiwan, anyway, not mainland directors, they previously did a lot of work that's contemporary with films and romantic, that type of stuff. So I think these two probably are very good at directing moments between people. And so you combine that with a really solid script, and probably the actors really get on well in real life. You know, people just, like when you get on well, it's just something that just happens. So it's like a really lucky production that has everything that comes together. And once you start to watch it, it's like, oh, okay, they're like so much better than I expected. Particularly, I think early stage, I think first 12 episodes, I think Gong Jun really impressed me. Because I have like minus kind of a level of expectation, right? And then he did so good. and his like wooden stares in all his BG dramas just evaporated. Like every moment, he's like eyeing Zhou Zishu. The eyeing is just like so live, like they're so animated, like that feeling behind it, and it's like glitter in his eyes. I'm like, okay, so that's what we call him, Hai Wang, right? So in China, when you say 下海 for the actors going to the sea, which is male actors going to play BL drama roles, and this is his second time doing that. He previously had a drama that got taken down. But in that drama is contemporary one, and he played the bottom person. And this time, happily, now 做一的快乐 now I'm on top. And it's pretty much like throughout the drama, he's like, I'm on top, I'm so happy now. So he's like magic. Now he's on top. He suddenly is super confident and super just like, wow, like that acting is so good to look at. So maybe he's just too happy to be the E of the drama. Yeah, the bottom and top thing is just so weird in the BL end, but it's so important for all the BL stories. And the weird thing of the original story, right, is they didn't actually figure out who is the 1 and who is the 0 until the very, very end of the story. Like, pretty much everything is already finished. And Wen Kexing became 1 because he cried. Like, they had a fight trying to figure out who should be on top. I was like, that is so ridiculous. And they couldn't figure it out because they're like equal, like leveled up, right? They fight and then nobody wins. And Wen Kexing just got puppy-eyed. He got puppy-eyed and he started to cry. He started to ying, 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 ying. And Zhou Zishu was like, okay, fine. Then I'll give it to you. You're 1, okay? And I'm like, huh? This word? Like, what? So definitely in the drama, you're not gonna see that happening, okay? They're definitely not gonna play that, but they're gonna do it in a version probably that's like makes sense for the drama itself. It's just so funny, right? It's like, who is this 1? Well, and I think for the casting, right, they did a really good thing because the writer had this interview. The writer said, for the casting, what type of idea you have, and she said she suggested for the crew, for the production producers to go and find a person whose feature give you the feeling of very sharp, like angled, a lot of corners, very sharp look for Zhou Zishu's role, and then you have to go and find somebody who has a very fluent, like a very gentle outline of their face, the softness face for Wen Kexing's role. And Wen Kexing has to have a way of looking at people like a child. So he has to have that child innocence look in his eyes, whereas Zhou Zishu has to be very, there's a distance that you feel when you look at him, and he has to be very sharp in his angles. So that's like what the script writer suggested, and I think it's a really, really good observation, and they found the good people for that, because they are really like that, right? Zhehan, and he lost a lot of weight for this, so he had a lot of chiseled angles, and he has like that nose, right? That really is very pointy and sharp. And those eyebrows also, like that look. And then Gong Jun has the very, even though he has like crazy profile, his lines are very soft. So like it does work. And also Gong Jun does have what we call puppy eyes, right? Like the type of eyes that when they look up, it looks like a sad puppy. So, you know, like when he has sad puppy, like that kind of sad puppy eyes, it makes sense that eventually he became on top because he puppy eyed the other guy. Oh, that is just so ridiculous. And yeah. And I think for the early stage of this drama, most of the Huadian, right, the really watchable points, the really delicious, juicy acting comes from Gong Jun, because he is the outwardly acting person. But I think later you start to see more of Zhou Zishu, because Zhou Zishu earlier on, Zhehan is playing him very, very, very low-key, very down. Like you have to really look at him to see, oh, okay, he's doing something here, but he's doing it very, very minor like thing. And you really have to stare at the camera, at the shot, to see what he's doing. So I think earlier on, people are not getting his acting or his role, and they are mostly focused on Gong Jun's very, you know, like out and big performance. But as you watch, you really get it, right? Like after episode 12, you see the light coming from Zhou Zishu, and now he. In China now, people have so many nicknames for Zhou Zishu now. He's either wife, 老婆, Okay, everybody's calling him 老婆，老婆好漂亮，老婆好 pretty, or they're calling him 九天玄女 or 菩萨, you know, so pretty much like the holy, the saint, the goddess type of role who comes in and just shy, and then like the angel role. Yeah, so I think like this has worked marvelously and probably beyond everyone's expectation. Probably also beyond the actors themselves, plus the crew, plus the directors or the producers. I think nobody saw like it's gonna get so well accepted. So this is like really lucky strike with this casting. As for the original people who got casted, I cannot confirm. Like I've seen rumors, but I can't confirm, so I won't talk about it. You know, this type of thing happens with dramas, unfortunately, all the time. It's like somebody just has to leave or can't make it, and they have to find somebody else. Blah, 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 you know, what can we say? It's fate. Universe has its own script, and he has it or she has it, right? Designed for people, and when it's your time, you know, it will happen, no matter what. Through a series of weird and unfortunate events, it's just gonna lead to a point where something happens. I'm so happy that they picked these two. And then on the second, like another note on this is I'm so happy for the fact that first, these two are extremely different in real life as compared to the characters, pretty much polar opposite, their own sort of natural demeanor and what kind of character they are personality-wise. So when they go back to real life, you almost like can't really connect them with their characters. So the good thing is when they interact, when they come out together to do events and interviews and stuff, you know, like it's very unlikely for people to go really weird with the RPS thing, which sometimes can get to a really weird place, and internet is weird and fandom is weird. It's just like better that doesn't happen too crazily. So for these two, it's like it's very hard to ship the real person. Yeah, somebody said really good actually is that like they're 4 people. So Zhang Zhehan, Gong Jun, Zhou Zishu, and Wen Kexing are 4 different people. There's nothing that overlaps pretty much. So the fun is you can have so much fun with the characters that they made up on the screen, but like in real life, it's just a totally different thing. You don't even like need to bother about that, which is just cool, like relief. Because for the previous couples in the drama and the RBL, due to a lot of afterwards mess that's connected to the fandom craziness, it just all turned very ugly. Like very ugly. It destroys what the illusion that you make up for the drama. It's just not pretty, and it's sad, and it's unnecessary, and it's wrong. Because they're actors. They're gonna play hundreds of roles in their life. And like it's weird that people would think because they played the role, they are the role in their life. I'm like, what kind of like... Did you just like get born on planet Earth for the... I don't know, like, did you not grow up in a human environment and you don't understand how this works? So I'm thankful for the fact that these two like have nothing to do with their roles in real life, literally. Like, you can't even tell there's anything resembling. Right, Gong Jun in life is very mute and very like slow to heat up with other people. He's quiet and he's slow. He talks slowly. 他的语速基本上是这样的。Very, very slow, okay? And in the drama, he's like... Okay? And Zhang Zhehan, on the other hand, in the drama, he's like just not... Like, you know, 生人勿近, or stranger, don't come close to me. Silent most of the time. And in life, he's like a social master. So it's so funny to look at these two comparisons. It's like, okay, cool. That helps. That really helps me to separate them as actors and their roles, and I'm happy about that. I don't want them to actually get mixed up. Yeah. So isn't that cool? Also, that there's really good thing for these two, so that I can like 10 times respect, is after the drama exploded, they immediately put the word out. And with their sort of official running of their fandom and stuff, is like they said they required their like their fandom sort of runners, people who run those management, whatever, fan club and stuff, do not go on social media to control the comments. These days, for a lot of popular people, traffic actor, whatever, idols, they have like big groups of fans that are officially organized who would go out and search for any posts for them and just go and control comments. So they'll post hundreds of just meaningless, "You look so good, you're so great, we love you," that type of like stuff under those social media posts, hundreds of them, so that nobody can see anything that's coming from a natural, real person's response. And that's called 控评, controlling comments. And when this drama exploded, both actors and their fandom came out, officially put out a statement saying, we are not gonna do that for this. Like, so for people who watch this show, we're not gonna go under the show's anything. The show puts out a post, we're just gonna let it flow freely. We're not gonna try to press down anything. We're not gonna try to push up anything. We're just gonna stay away from this drama and let people have their fun. And both of them did that. I was like, because you know, like memes, all those like really, really famous, infectious, and the stuff that push dramas out, like one word, one meme, one phrase, all comes from naturally generated stuff. Come from random people putting stuff out, and just something just clicks, and something just clicks and it works, and then it explodes. This is how it works naturally, right? Like a virus. So if you do comment control, it will just F up that possibility. And I am just so thankful that people just, they did that. I was like, let people have fun, you know, because why do we film dramas? We film dramas to create a story that people like. Obviously, we would want the audience to ship. Like, the more you ship, the better. Like, more emotionally people invest into that shipping. That means we've done a successful job. If people don't ship it, that means we've failed. So the more sort of reaction from the audience, the better, right? And why would you want to control that? I'm like, normal people. It's so hard to find normal people in Chinese entertainment these days. Just normal actors and normal humans with normal brain circuit, okay? Isn't that like just what's supposed, like, I find it's weird that people have this need to control comments. I'm like, so I'm so happy. I'm just so happy all around for the casting choice, not just because of their acting in the drama, which is brilliant, but also because of what they're like in real life, okay? And heaven helps, like this is like, Priest finally got lucky. Priest finally got lucky. Ah. So if Shapolang also succeeds, right, later, well, then she's lucky this year, because last year it's Zijingchen lucky with the bad kids and the long night, right? So if this year we can get two, maybe it will be her year. Let's hope for that. Oh, okay. I definitely am a little bit too excited. How long have I been? Okay. Whew. I think I've said like about 20% more words than my usual live stream at this point by 1 hour mark. So let me take a look at what people are talking about. You're scrolling it really fast, so. So we've talked about the book, we talked about the casting of those two. Then we can quickly talk about a couple of other people. For Zhou Ye to play Gu Xiang, because her first episode, when she shows up, it was really weird. Like, her acting was like so over the top. Like, she's like playing a little girl, right? Like so over. That almost turned me off. And I think I recently read an interview, which is, this is their intentional choice. Because she can act very well. Like, she's a very good actress. She intentionally did that with the director's request to do that. Because she's playing a person, playing a girl. So she's actually not, like, her role is not naturally like that. But it's her sort of first time coming out with her master to the real human realm. And she knows she's not a normal person. So she is pretending to be a girl of her age. But because she never really lived like a girl of her age, so her acting is a little bit weird. It's like she's trying to pretend to be a 15, 16-year-old girl. And that is intentionally done. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. But like, it's really dangerous because they don't tell you they're doing it. And you may very easily take it as, okay, another crappy drama, like a million other crappy dramas from Chinese Dramaland. So it's like, they're very daring in terms of, like, when you watch the first couple of episodes, they have so much stuff buried under it and they've laid a lot of lines, but they don't tell you in any way that we are doing it. So you may not get it, you may miss the drama, you may misinterpret it, and therefore you don't actually, you know, like, get it, and you leave. They run the risk of that. So that by the later stage, you will know why they're doing it earlier on. And when you go back and watch it, you'll figure it out. And like, okay, respect. Particularly these days when people are like, for watching dramas, is like immediately, right? If it doesn't work, people start to rant about it. So this is one of the rare drama. For a lot of bad dramas, they will say, after watching how many episodes, it will get better. Okay, this is like the oldest sort of excuse that bad drama gives you, is like, after watching how many episodes, it will get better. Whereas for this drama, it really is after watching how many episodes, it will get better. And the better thing is, like, it actually connects to the early stage, so you can go back. And then you realize, okay, now I see. So for Tian Ke's adaptation, Shanheling, there's a really unusual thing for this type of drama, which is you really need to, at certain point, go back and rewatch it. And you will, I'll promise you, on your second watch, you will find a lot of things you totally didn't notice the first time around. And they still don't tell you where they are. You have to go and dig it out. And I was like, this is so good. This is so good, isn't it? Thanks for all the super chats. I've seen a couple that just happened consecutively, and you didn't leave a question. So thank you for everyone who sends me a super chat. And it runs away too fast. I can't catch it. Callie, oh, you're here again. Thank you for super chat. Yeah, because this lady who writes a script, right? She's first a lady. She is also, I think, a psychology major. So she did a psychology profile for all the roles. She literally followed the classic psychology of like analysis of people. And she laid out for Wen Kexing, for Zhou Zishu, like what stage they're at what they do, which is like cool. And I think she also studied like drama and stuff, film in New York or somewhere. Anyway, yeah, so isn't that cool? And so Zhou Ye is acting, right? And their goal is in the beginning, she's pretending to be a girl, and you'll see a lot of overacting because that's intentionally done. Later, when the story starts to go to the more for real part for her, she will become more and more natural and become more and more like herself. And they didn't change the ending for her. And we all know what's gonna happen. I'm so sad about that. Oh, and there's so many references in the drama. If you dig at it, right? Like when she shows up, what her ending is, it's already spoiled in the first episode. Did people catch that? Did you catch that her ending is spoiled in episode 1, which is so cool. Yeah, NYU direct major, yeah. We don't know. Okay, so if you haven't read the book, okay, this is spoiler. You can turn off the volume. Let's say this. You turn the sound to 0 so you can't hear me, and I'll give you this. Okay, on screen. This is when you can come back, okay? If you don't want to get spoiled, okay? So, now I start. Turn the volume to 0. Okay, what happened in the book for Gu Xiang, is like death. Plus, like, her lover. Okay, so her lover dies first and then she dies. But in the extra chapter of the book, after everything is concluded, priest wrote a specific chapter just for her, which is what happened after they're dead. So they're in underworld, and in Chinese mythology, that is called Huang, yellow spring. Okay, and then there's a bridge called Nai He Qiao, which is like a bridge that you can't do anything about. That's the literal translation. What happens is there's an old lady called Meng Po, and she will come and give you something to drink, and you will forget about everything that happened in your life, and you go on to your next reincarnation. And in the extra chapter, Cao Weining is already dead, so he's waiting there, and he's talking to the Meng Po and other people, and he's like, I want to stay here and wait till like she comes down, and she would be old, right? I'm wondering if I would be able to recognize her when she's an old lady. And they were having this conversation, and at the time, the people who work in Underworld are talking to him, and they mentioned a character who has been waiting there, who has waited for many years for a person to come, and that drags out the story of Zhou Ye, the one of the characters that will come out later in this drama, that's played by Zhehan, and who has a 7 life incarnation story that is connected to Tianyake and Shanheling. So they were having that conversation. So it's really cool that in that extra chapter they give you a clue for Zhou Ye's story. And then he only waited for a very short time, and then he saw Gu Xiang coming down too. So he's very happy. He's like, oh, you're here. But then he realized, shit, you're dead too. And you're not old lady. And I've only been dead for like how long? So that means you're dead too. And he's super sad, and she's super happy. So they met, and then they were like, okay, we have to go on, or we have to drink this thing, and they will forget each other next lifetime, and they don't want to do that. So at the time, the Meng Po, the goddess who has that thing for you to drink, suddenly changed her mind. It's like she never does that. She rarely does it. So she pulls out this red thread, and then tied their wrists together and said, now you can drink it and go on, but you have this tied up, so next time you'll meet again. And there's another person by the bridge, and that guy is also a very interesting character, and he's like, come on, you two little people, go and thank this old lady, because she never does that. Like, she rarely does it at all. So she's doing it specially for you two. So they went on, and then it's like 15 years later in this world, there's 2 families that are very good friends, and they each had a child, a girl and a boy. And they, when they were like little, the 2 parents realized that these 2 kids have like a birthmark on their wrist, and one person has it on the left and the other person has it on the right. So they're like, we're good friends, and these 2 kids are like that. So we'll just arrange their marriage. So they're kind of like arranged right from the beginning for the next lifetime. So when they're 15 or something, they got married, and happily ever after. So that's the extra chapter for Gu Xiang's story. And when I talk about the spoiling thing, is when she showed up, she's in the pavilion thing with Kexing, and she's like, that's a beggar, whether that's a beggar or that's just a person lying there, enjoying the sun. And she jumped out, and she ran onto that bridge. So she showed up on a bridge, and the bridge has a sign on the side. I think that says basically soup, or like there's a soup place. So there's a sign by the bridge that says that. But when you are at the Naihe Bridge in Yellow Spring, you would also be drinking a soup. So it's like, I don't know if they intentionally did that with the Naihe Qiao, that reference, but it's her story. So it's very hidden. Like, if you're a book fan and you actually know what happens in the extra chapter, you may be able to catch her showing up on the bridge thing. So that's the reference. Okay, so for the people who have turned down the volume, you can come back now. You can come back. Lip read me. Come back. Okay, so like they did a lot of those things, which is really cool. And also the story that I've just mentioned, right? That's like their extra chapter. They've already told you in the episode, is that 18 or 17? Can't remember. When Cao Weining wakes up and he talks about he had a dream. That scene. So because in the book they can't film it. You can't film the of the world. So the scriptwriter is like, no, I like their extra chapter story. I'm gonna freaking jam it into the actual storyline. See how I do it? I put it in a freaking dream. Okay, good. Zhang Chengling's actor, he's a really cool kid. He's so nervous in interviews. He's so adorable. And he's the actor who played the young Baiyu's role in the film 银河补习班. Anyone realize that? Deng Chao and Baiyi last year's summer film 银河补习班. The to what? Like I can't remember the English title. And one of the like they have younger kids, right, playing Baiyu's role. The middle one is this actor. That's him. Did you see like how weird life works? It's like Priest Universe actors somehow connected. Because he played the younger Baiyi in that drama, and Baiyi played the role in Guardian. And then he plays a role in Tian Yake's adaptation, 山河令. Sun Xilun, I think that's his name. Isn't that like wonderful? Because when he showed up, I was like, this kid looks familiar. Where did I see him before? I couldn't figure out. And I didn't bother to check. It was later, somebody told me. I was like, oh yeah, obviously, yes, he is the young Baiyi. Yeah, the young Ma Fei. Yeah, that's the character. Isn't that cool? So the script is really nice. Oh, and we have to talk about Ye Baiyi a little bit. I don't know what they're gonna do with his character in the drama version. I hope that they'll give him a complete arc. He's a really cool character, and I think in another world he can be a lead for a novel himself. Ye Baiyi, the 100-old young guy, 100-year-old young guy. And I like the actor's interpretation, because when you read a book, he's really fun. He's like he's nasty and fun. And I was like, I hope that they will do a good job. And I think the actor did a good job. Makes a lot of sense for his acting. And his story is sad too. He's so sad. He's in love with Rongxuan's father, but he let it stop at the good friendship, because the guy liked marries, And I think he learned, like he's super young, and because he practiced the 六合神功, the thing that allows him to be really powerful and young. But the price is, first he has to stay at the mountain that he comes from. He can't leave it, because he has to drink and eat the stuff from that mountain, and he can, for the rest of his life, only eat cold things. He cannot eat hot food, cooked stuff. He can't. If he does, he will age and die, and so that's why he's so young, but he's 100 years old guy. And he did that. He learned that not because he wants to, I think, in the setup. Not because he wants to be the strongest person who learns that, but because he has to learn it to save his friend. I think that's the story. So he did it, and that resulted in him being basically sort of imprisoned in that mountain he lives, and kind of like a god, but like a lonely god who has nothing. Like the person he loves is long dead. There's nobody who connects to him. He has the strongest skills, but there's nobody in his life for like I don't know, decades, right? So until he decides to come to the world, and because he's had enough of that effed up life, and then he meets all those interesting people, and he starts to eat. Like, why he eats so much stuff, right? One is probably because of decades of starvation, of not eating proper human food. The other thing is probably he's just had enough. He's like, Even if I just live for another 3 months, it's okay. I've already lived long enough. I just want to enjoy it. I don't want to be immortal anymore. So he goes, and in the drama, you will very quickly see he starts to grow white hair and he starts to age. In the book as well, once he comes to the human world, he starts to, like, the normal human life, he starts to age. But he's really happy about that. He's like, I've had enough. I've had enough. I just want to age. So this is a really interesting character too. He deserves a book on his own, I think. And I hope, like, they do him justice, right, at the end of this. Yeah, the real name thing, I've already talked about that, Michelle, earlier on in the stream. But because a lot of people said they don't want to get spoiled, they're at 12 episodes, which is like a long way from 1920-21. I've already explained, I think it's a well-written thing because it has to happen, right? That has to happen to make it logical for Wen Kexing to chase after Zhou Zishu right from the beginning. Otherwise, it will just be weird. It will just be like, this person is a psycho. Okay. Yeah, we talked about a lot about this. What else should we talk about this drama? Let me think about this. Yeah, adding that friendship at childhood is totally to make it more logical for Wen Kexing to act in a weird way at the beginning. Otherwise, it would just be like this guy just 万花丛中过，片叶不沾身, right? Have you watched my latest video? If you don't do that, he will become a real 万花丛中过，片叶不沾身 person who sleeps around, who chases after pretty people. And that will make him so, like, that's not, like, yeah, so it makes so much sense. Yeah, he is a stalker, but like in the drama version, he's a stalker for a good reason, right? No, there's no season 2, it ends. And the scriptwriter said, because this story just ends here. It should end here. There's no season. Like, it will be a happy ending, and they're living together happily ever after. And probably Zhang Chengling is gonna become the strongest person for the future in the entire Wuling, because he learns from Wen Kexing, learns from Zhou Zishu, learns from the Long Yuange's master of all the traps, how to set that. He's also Jinghu Pai's heir. He's also Gao Xiaolian, a Yueyang Pai's heir, right? So he has 5, like, super powerful heritage all on him. So Zhang Chengling, the character, is actually the traditional wuxia novel male lead role. What you see in this drama, the 2 leads role, are just the precursor for the big Zhang Chengling. Like, Zhang Chengling is the ultimate winner of the love story of Wen Kexing and Zhou Zishu. He's the person who benefits most from this whole thing. Okay, I'll go away for 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Okay, I'll come back very soon, and you can keep chatting. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah. Yeah. So, people, like, just wait till episode 19, 20, 21, and you'll understand what people are talking about if you haven't caught up with the drama and the reason, like, they changed it. I think it makes sense. It's one of the better sort of device you can use to make that happen. I don't have a problem with that. I don't also have a problem with the story referencing actually some words from Chapelang and also from Modu. You guys, when you get there, you'll see like the writer really loves to playing Easter eggs with stuff. And I think that's cool, because who doesn't want to have a universe for one writer's universe to somehow all reference to each other? Marvel does it for every freaking film, and it becomes a tradition for people to dig out the Easter egg at the end of each film. So what's wrong with doing that with Chinese dramas? And it's coming from the same author, you know? And some people have problems with that. I'm like, weird. You people are weird. You should be thankful that it happens. It means that the scriptwriter cares about like where the story comes from. And they actually read and know what is the canon of stuff. And they play with it. You should be freaking thankful, okay? And if you have a problem with that, you have something that's being so brainwashed by the crazy fandom of you can only love one person, if you love anyone else, you're a bitch. That type of logic. And you need to sort out your brain, okay? It's like the problem is on your side. Yeah, there are people actually having problems with referencing other priests' work in this drama. I'm like, what? Come battle with me, okay? You are ridiculous. There's so many 牌坊经 in this world. If you know what 牌坊 is, right, in China, it's those big structures people build to commemorate the chastity of women and kid. Some people like just they build up their mental 牌坊, and they think that because of doing that they're better than other people. Come on, have fun with your life. You should always occupy your moral ground valley instead of the peak, okay? Otherwise you would not have a good life. I'm just happily laying flat at the lowest moral valley and I'm just like, come to me. All good things rush to this valley. The peak is lonely and cold and windy and effed up. Like Baiyi's life is effed up. Oh, come on. People are so weird. So weird. Yeah, so. And we can talk about other things. What else can we talk about? I can quickly mention what's gonna happen is, I think, early April, right now the rumor is Immortality is gonna come out on Tencent. And then there's also very rumory that Chapelang is gonna come out in May. So they're gonna each occupy a month. But whether that's gonna happen for sure, we should wait and see. Okay, so that's what I know currently. As for Tianguan Cifu, there's been leaked news about who has been casted, but not confirmed. Not confirmed at all, so we'll still have to wait. Personally, if it's the two person that they've been talking about, I'm worried. But it's still very rumory, so maybe it's not gonna be like that. Who knows? Also, I think for Tianguan Cifu, right, this particular IP, if they need to adapt it, the scriptwriter has a lot of work to do. My hair is getting oily because I'm too excited. And then static is like really sticking it. Because Tianguan Cifu is very road movie-ish. And when it's being visualized, you need quite a lot of shifting stuff around. What happens first, what happens next, what links to what? You know, when do people go back into flashbacks? When do they go to present time? How the whole thing? Like, you need a good scriptwriter to figure that out for a certain length drama. And how it works to keep people interested, keep the pace. Like, it's a different thing compared to reading books. And it needs to be a person who knows visual medium is a different thing from text medium. there's a lot of adaptation work on the writing side for 天官赐福. So even if they cast the perfect people, if they can't figure out the script, it's also going to be problematic for 天官赐福. I hope it gets good treatment. Who knows? Somebody asked something. Yeah, because they said that over 800 actors have been auditioned for this drama. Holy, that's pretty much all the known young actors that's working in China. Holy moly. 杀破狼, yeah, 杀破狼 has been weird about promotion and stuff. There's like no news about it. I don't know why. We'll see what. Like, I actually have confidence in those two leads. Acting skill, but then if the script works, right? That's the biggest worry I have. Okay, so we can talk a little bit about what else. 山河令. I can tell you a really funny story. It happened within 36 hours. That's related to this drama, but it's really funny. Okay, it's a good anecdotal story coming from Avenue X. I'll tell you what happened. When I edited that video that is already on my second channel. Also, if you don't know, for people who are watching this live, if you don't know, my second channel that has a link under each and every of my video, Avenue Extra. I upload my edits on there for that I have on Bilibili, and so if you want to go and watch it, them, okay, not it, and they're good. Okay, I have the confidence that I'm one of the really like, if people want to rank, one of the better editors on Bilibili. Okay, one thing that I can claim, and I think I deserve it. Do you agree? Anyway, I will put out more in the future, so watch that channel if you want to watch the edits. I put it there so that if copyright ridiculous thing happen, it doesn't affect my main channel. That's the reason. And also because it's a small channel, so it doesn't have monetization option, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so when I edited that video, okay, literally like 2 days after, I got a private message on the Bilibili's backend from somebody who subscribes to my channel, and saying there's another Bilibili content creator who just made a video talking about 山河令, and she is going to go and interview Gong Jun soon. So she's telling people in that video to leave comments under a pinned comment, to leave their questions that they want to ask Gong Jun. And she's gonna pick some of the questions and go and ask him. So that happened like about 2 days ago. 2, 3, over the weekend anyway. Oh, is it? Can't quite remember. Anyway, a couple of days ago. Okay, so the person said, well, you're watching this drama and you obviously like it. Do you want to go and leave your comment over there? So I was like, okay. So I clicked open that person's front page, and I watched her latest video, and I realized this is a person that I've been following for actually since last year. I didn't follow her, but I clicked into her video, so I know her because she has a cat. and like she holds her rag doll, like, and it's really cute. So I was like, oh, I know you. So I watched her video on 山河令, and the delicious thing that happened was I spotted a snippet that's about 10 seconds long. That's directly taken from my edit. My ashu edit. And I was really pissed. Because she didn't quote me, she didn't say anything about that. There's nothing on that, and I recognize it because the order of things, the music in the background is my music I picked, and also the filter that I put on to this video is the same filter, like, you know, like, 'cause I can tell. So I double checked 3 times. I'm like, okay, it's my edit, and I was like, I spent a whole day 砍柴, which is like chopping the episodes open to go through every second to see where are the ashu, right? So it's a lot of work. I chopped a whole day, and I was like, this is just like not nice. So, okay, this is only the beginning of the story. It's not like, it's gonna have a good ending, okay? So bear with me. So I messaged her. I was like, this is my edit. Go and check it. Like it's one of the popular edits. Like, you know, you've taken that snippet from me. And she immediately replies, like after a couple of minutes, and she's like, shoot, I didn't know that. Because she actually has an editor. I didn't know. I thought like, because her account is not big. And then she basically writes the what she speaks and she films it and she gives it to an editor, and editor goes and edit it. And she's like, shoot, I didn't know. Okay. So she's like, hold on, I'm gonna go and check. So she disappears for a while and she comes back and she's like, yes, I've confirmed. The editor admitted that the editor taken because they're under like time constraint, and they have a snippet in the video that they want to talk about how many times that he talks about ashu. So they took my video, and she's like, I have seriously talked to my editor about not doing that, and she apologizes, and like I can't get a vibe of this person. She really didn't do it intentionally, and I'm pretty sure it's not her doing. She's a person who has a normal like 27 entertainment business job, so I don't see how she could possibly edit her stuff herself with that much time either. So I understand, and I've watched her previous videos, so I know she's a pretty normal and proper person. So I was like, okay, I understand that. Like yeah, my editor, but I think this time it probably is real. It probably is real. I don't really have a big problem of her, like, you know, like, and she's really pissed too. She's like, I'm really sorry. And I was like, okay. I was like, fine. Because it's just like 10 seconds, right? And I know, because she's crazy about this drama, and we're all crazy about this drama. We're all trying to make this drama, you know, got seen by more people. So I was like, okay, I'll let it go. It's fine. Because nobody probably will notice it apart from me, really. Because it's my edit, right? Other people would not probably notice it. So I was like, okay, it's fine. But I was like, because I immediately was like, okay, I'll take another step further. I was like, since you owe me on this one, I'll ask you a favor. Go and ask Gong Jun a question that comes from me, and you have to ask it. And she's like, okay, for sure. But I don't actually have a question for Gong Jun, because I'm neither fan nor any type of, like, I just really appreciate his acting, really. But specifically, I don't have a question that's like eagerly needed for me to ask. So I was like, since you're gonna interview, which is like, when I talked to her, she's like, I'm gonna interview him tomorrow night. So about a day afterwards. I was like, I'm gonna go and ask a friend of mine who's also on Bilibili, who's an Up, which is like content creator for Bilibili. And she's making a series of video analyzing acting with microscopic stuff. It's all in Chinese, so if you don't read Chinese, you probably can't watch that video. But she's really good at doing that, and she's on my WeChat. So I was like, I'm gonna ask my friend, because she is doing that video, analyzing microseconds sort of accuracy acting, and she definitely has questions. And so I was like, I'll ask her. And then I went to ask my friend. You can ask Gong Jun a question. Think about it. And so she gives me a question. I sent that question to this content creator. I said, this is the question you have to go and ask. And she's like, okay, I promise, I'll ask. And then she did interview, and she's really happy. And her report, like, she hasn't finished. She's gonna make a video about it, but it's not done yet. And she works for a magazine that interviews him, and they're gonna publish it on paper, so it's gonna be printed. So it's done, but it's not out yet. And after her interview, she sends out a post on her Bilibili saying it's a really good interview, went smoothly, and she's very happy about how cooperative Gong Jun is, or his team is. So she's happy. And then she sends me something. She's like, I've asked your question. And then today, okay, before I start this stream, she sent me what his answer is. But like they haven't done the video and the print yet. So it's a very specific question about acting, like actual acting that he did in the drama, like what type of, like what he did with stuff. So it's not a big thing, right? But it's really fun. So afterwards, that's all done. So I've made a new friend on Bilibili with this person, and she's asked a question about Gong Jun. That comes from me, but also comes from a friend of mine. So within 36 hours, we've run a whole circle of 6 degrees. So now. Everyone who's watching this video, you're all officially like 6 degree wise connected to Gong Jun, because you're connected to me, and I'm connected to that person, and that person is connected to. It's done. Isn't that fun? It's just really fun. I just find it's really fun. And I think the only thing I did good in this is like I wasn't really offended, because when I saw that snippet of video that was there, I could really go at her, right? I could really go at her, and I didn't. And I was like, I can tell she loves this drama, and she's a really interesting person too. So I was like, yeah, it's fine. But then, you know, take advantage. Talk about that. It's funny, right? Isn't that funny? Well, I can take a look at that question. So basically, because my friend is staring at the acting with a microscopic lens, so her question is extremely specific. So the first one is that my friend asked Gong Jun, which is for those very long lines, particularly the memory type, the monologue, the internal monologue that goes on, right? And it's on screen. So how do you think through it? Like, how do you play that on screen? And his answer is, I would continually hypnotizing myself. This person is my enemy. This person 跟我有仇, okay? And I will repeatedly talk to myself about that. This person is my enemy. This person is an enemy. For example, I would say in my heart, 赵静是我的杀父仇人, 赵静是我的杀父仇人, 赵静是我的杀父仇人. Sorry, I really spoiled it for you, but if you don't understand English, Chinese, so, and then he said, what I've just said, you have to change it a little bit. I don't want to spoil people. So, that's one question. The second is, apart from remembering the lines very accurately and very like carefully remembering all his lines, which he did, like, and there's an interview that actually talks about that. What would you improvise on set? Suddenly, like, you get like inspired and you do improvisation on set. And he said, I will act based on at the time when he was on set, what kind of environment he's in. Before he started shooting this drama, he said he's very stiff, and he said, I'm not a talented person in this, and I don't have a very strong ability to receive, you know, to feel for it, to get very like sensitive with that. A lot of things needs to be done based on my opponent's reaction and then the type of environment I'm in. But I think now, so after this drama, I start to understand a bit more about that. So he's like, 我自己现在稍微开窍了一点. So previously he said he doesn't have that. So, and it kind of started to happen for this drama. So that's the question, like not huge ones and definitely not gossip ones. It's really specific about acting. Okay, I'm just replying to that person. Okay, so very technical questions, and it's fun. Because my friend, because of her watching the acting, right, with microscopic lens, she noticed a lot of things that looks like improvisation or looks like very in the moment reaction that just cannot be planned. So that's why she asked. And like if you look at a lot of the moments between these two, you really can tell, like they are, okay, what they do really well for this show, I think for those two leads, is first they understand what their characters are, and they are very aware of everything that happened to those characters before at this moment of our acting. So first they're very well versed in their character, and then they understand the motivation, where they comes from, what type of person they are. So first they have a good understanding of their character. They know at this particular moment right now we're filming what kind of stage we're at and where we're going. and then they let it go. They pretty much just let that moment happen with the, obviously the line that's remembered and things that needs to be done. But for example, if they're sitting there by a fire, then they act like they're sitting there by a fire, you know, like if we are cooking stuff, then we're cooking stuff, and then it's very like for real. So like it's very in the moment acting. You will see a lot of those eye movements and gestures. That's very, very natural reaction to people who are in that moment for real. And if you are so conscious of like your acting, or if you so pre-plan for everything, like every eye movement, every movement, everything, you will be very stiff. You will not be able to react like a real person. And they have a lot of small reactions that's like a real person. Like a real person in that situation would do that. They would do like the little things that's just so like my friend would say, she noticed these things very much. It's like, for example, I hand you something suddenly. If we're having a natural conversation, I hand you something suddenly. If you are very in the I will act what I've planned moment, you may not look at the thing, you will look at me. But if you are in the real moment, when suddenly a friend of you just give you this, your first reaction would be staring at the thing instead of the person, because that's the natural reaction, like biologically, that's how it works. Comes in, okay, and then I'll look up at you. So those little moments is what she's digging at, which is like crazy. She's combing through the drama for this, and she's like noticing a lot of those little things that happens as real people would do. So that's why she asked those questions. So it feels very real, and I think people are very 上头, right, about this couple is because they come across as really real people. Tracy Hoser, thank you for your super chat. And that's actually how acting should be done, which is action and reaction, right? The best acting happens with the reaction. It's like you actually listen to what the other person is saying at the moment and you react for real. And you don't really have to do a lot of intentional stuff. You just let it be in the moment and it just works. And unfortunately, a lot of bad acting just doesn't understand it. They overplan, overthink, they design it. and then it starts to get weird once that happens. So my friend's account is on Bilibili, and everything she makes is in Chinese, and she puts subtitles on the acting microscopic moment. But even if you don't understand the characters, you will understand what she's trying to say and what she's trying to show. So she's really good. Her account is LXX3322 on Bilibili. And she's done a microscopic analysis for Guardian. She's done one for Tiger and Rose. And like when I say one, it's like multiple videos. So she did like 19 videos for Guardian, about like 10 or also like over 10 videos for Tiger and Rose. And now she's aimed at combing through the entire thing of Word of Honor. And it's gonna take her a long time because she has a very busy job in real 3-dimensional world. So yeah. So if you go and check out her channel, you'll see those videos. It's in Chinese, but you probably can enjoy it a lot because when you slow down and when you zoom in, there's so much stuff going on. It's just like cool. Like, and it only happens with like really good drama and good acting and convincing CPs and stuff. Bad dramas, no matter how much you zoom in, it's just blank. Nothing happens. Somebody has already typed the name, okay? Scroll in the chat, you'll see. Ping her Bilibili channel. I don't know, can I pin something in the... Ooh. Okay, so on my end, right now I can't type because I haven't opened the browser. I'm on a software and then, yeah. Yeah, so the LX3322 is her channel. Okay, you see how weird I am? It's like I keep promoting other people. What can I say? Aquarius. It's just me. Is there a way to ping other people's comment? I can't quite do that, probably. It's going too fast. Anyway, you already seen it. It's LXX3322. Yeah, I'm tired, but I'm very happy. Yeah, it's weird, right? Like literally the first thing I can think of is like what can I do for the other people who might need it more? It sounds like I'm just pretending to be so holy and saint-like, but it's not. Because most of the time it really doesn't matter to me. It's like, for example, that interview question is like, I really don't have anything I want to ask Gong Jun. I just want to say, you're very good. I'm very impressed. You've done a better job than I expected. Maybe I'm too old that I can't just like really fangirl people anymore. I fan story. I probably fangirling the CPs, right? But I don't fangirl real person. Because honestly, Gong Jun is younger than me. It's really weird, you know, like when you fangirl somebody, if in real life you've actually met earlier on in your life, he would be a kid who has like runny nose, and you're like little kid, you know, like, so it's weird when you think about that. And the age difference, if say I was in my teenager years, right, then he would be like literally a kid. Imagine that, put that in your brain. It's just like, I can't fangirl somebody like that. It's weird. It's just so weird. He's got good like abs for sure, but still cannot fangirl. So anything else that we can talk about this drama? I hope it ends well. I hope the later episodes can be even like better. Currently I feel the storyline is a little bit too weak on Zhou Zishu's side. Most of the delicious juicy stuff are all on Wen Kexing, on his background story, on what he's gone through, what he wants to do, and pretty much all the right? The torture, the pain, the happy pain points are all on Wen Kexing's side. And they've only set up Zhou Zishu right from the beginning as basically has physical pain. And that's like a time bomb of his life. But apart from that, he doesn't really get that much screen time or like exploitation of his side of the stuff. So I wish the next 16, 15 episodes will put more energy on that too. I want these two to balance up in terms of how much like feel you generate from the audience's side for those for the roles. I want that to actually balance off. Like both of them will give you an equal kind of weight of things. I think it's currently because Zhou Zishu is being played on the very undercurrent side of things. I want a little bit more. I want a little bit more of that. We'll see how they play that plot. And they've definitely added the court back, because in the book, once he left the court never comes back to the story. It's only Jianghu. Whereas in the drama later, he will be captured. I think he will go back to his previous place, and then he will get into trouble, and Wen Kexing will go and save him. Yeah. That's like already been pieced together by all the trailers and all the beginning and ending song shots. Like people have already figured out that's probably what's gonna happen. It's like he's gonna go back, and then Wen Kexing is gonna take him out of that again. That's like one of the plot line for Zhou Zishu. So that's definitely gonna happen. The red dress and the white cloth on the horse, you know, like the leaked video online. That's probably related to that part of the plot. Okay, let me quickly say something on camera, on video. 你在看吗？你在看的话，现在我就直接在镜头里就说了啊。你在看的话，你就知道了。Yeah, I'm just talking to a friend on WeChat who is watching my live stream right now. Yeah, the princess carry, the horse carry thing. So that is that part of the plot that does not exist in the book at all. They added that for sure. Also, the falling down a cliff, like you also see that in trailer. I don't know like what part that would be. Because Wen Kexing is dressed up in the clothes that he's gonna start to wear in episode 22. And then Chengling is in the yellow brown one that he hasn't started wearing yet. So it's gonna happen probably after episode 25 because that's how far they've sent out the trailer. And I'm not sure like if that's gonna happen before Zhou Zishu being sort of dragged back to the court or after. I don't know when that's gonna happen. But Wen Kexing is gonna fall off a cliff and Zhou Zishu is gonna jump after. I think that's at least what the trailer has shown us. I don't know like if that's really what it is. If that's a dream, if that's a ploy, a game they've played, if it's real, at what stage of the whole story it happens. And then the white hair is leaked too, and don't know if that's also gonna be the ending. Yeah, maybe they've changed something for how they cured him, because in the book they just cured him with pretty much a normal way of doing stuff. But in the drama, to make it more dramatic, yeah, maybe they made him white haired. So like the falling off cliff is not worrying because later he has white hair, you know, so he couldn't have white hair and has black hair falling off the cliff, right? You have to have the black hair falling off the cliff first and then the white hair, so that means he doesn't die. So does not matter. It's just gonna be interesting to watch. So many things to look forward to, oh god. Yes, because in martial art drama, in Kung Fu, in Jianghu drama, a cliff never kills anyone. The safest place to go when you are out of options is to jump off a cliff. Because nobody has yet died from jumping off a cliff in Chinese dramas. So a cliff is like safer than bullet-proofing armor vehicles. Nobody dies. Well, Wei Wuxian didn't die from falling. He died from the ghosts eating him up. So like the physical thing of falling from a height and die does not happen in wuxia. If you die and then somebody is under it and waiting to kill you, okay, you may die, but the thing is like fall itself or the sudden stop at the end, neither of them kill you. And it's just a tradition that everybody sticks to for some weird reason. So, yeah, a lot of things to look forward to. Anything else we want to talk about this drama? It's almost 2 hours. It's got to stop somewhere, right? Azi. Well, Azi is like... Azi died because she wants to die. I can also say that, right? Because she already decided she wants to kill herself. And then Qiaofeng is dead too. So she did it because she wants it. So that doesn't count. I'm saying like, you don't want to die, but you accidentally falls down or people chase you off and stuff, then you don't. Yeah, need to add a little bit condition on top. Costumes. The costume, I noticed something really funny is for most of those dramas like this one, or previously I've noticed for Story of Minglan, when they design it, they really make the color very bright. Like they pick the really eye-hurting colors for the costume. So the costume, when you photograph them, they look really not that good as a raw coming out of the camera. But then they were graded. So they actually make costumes for the graded look instead of the actual look. If you look at the on-set paparazzi shots, you'll realize all the costumes, everyone's costume is like a 20 to 30% more saturated than what they show up like on the screen when you watch the drama. I think they did it for the purpose of, first is when you're shooting, you have big lights that's actually bigger than normal life. So it will take out quite a lot of color from the things. That's just what happens with a big light. Like when you see me on camera, I have like thicker makeup than it appears to be. It's just like light eats it away. So they do that, and I think they also grade the color they desaturate, they add the brightness, they lower the contrast so that they can make the people's skin look better. But by doing that, it will change the costume's color. So when they make the costumes, they will make the costumes uglier, right? With brighter, crazier color. So once you grade it, it becomes normal. And I've noticed that for this drama very clearly. So this is done by a crew who is very experienced in that department. It's like they know what kind of filter, what kind of setting of my like raw grading is gonna go. So I need the color to be deeper in reality. So it's fun. The Mo-Pi, the skin smoothing, what I've noticed is for certain shots, it's not very skin smooth. For certain shots, it's really bad. So there is a possibility of them grading, like skin smooth actors so much because when they were filming it, it was the hottest 3 months that was in Hengdian. And they had like multiple layers, the costume, and the actors were sweating like pigs. Like they couldn't stop the sweating. And even if you just dab the sweat off and then action and 10 seconds later it's all water. So there's the possibility of when you have close up, they just look too messy. So they have to do this, otherwise it just wouldn't be ugly. I think one of the reasons, because there are a couple of shots I've noticed, that's actually not very skin smooth at all. So I'm thinking that my part is because they sweat too much, and even with big lights and like it still doesn't hide all the water running and all the makeup moving, shifting places and melting and blot like in patches. And yeah, that could be because yeah, when you sweat too much, your makeup looks like shit. Honestly, like no good makeup can stand sweating, really. So that might be a reason. Because certain shots are okay, really. Certain shots are not. Like the very big close-up is like, oh my god. Maybe because they just sweat too much. That could be a good reason for doing it. Still though, I'd prefer right, not having that. But, you know, it's one of the minor things. And they have like good skin. There's really no need to skin smooth them. They neither have like huge amount of fine lines or like nothing. So, like, I don't see why smoothing it would make them prettier. Then maybe the most reasonable thing is sweat. Oh, and for this crew, right, I have to say something so cool. They go back and re-edit stuff. So when an episode comes out, and people complain about, oh, this sequence is so, we're not happy. They were like, okay, we go back, we re-edit. And next day, the same episode, you go and watch, they've changed a sequence to re-edit it. They redubbed episode 14, a section of it. Because when episode 14, the ring scene came out, for people who are at 12, sorry about that, but you're coming to it very soon, okay? For this ring scene, that's a big moment in the book as well. I think the problem comes from that scene is the pacing was wrong. The director didn't pace it very well. The editing didn't pace it well. And then the acting is a little bit too hasty. Like they're chasing the lines too much. So it didn't come out very like as well, like as good as people expected. Could be. And also the dubbing didn't quite work. I noticed, like I paid a lot of attention to that dubbing and I realized they've actually, in the post-production, they probably didn't do the volume correctly. They really pushed the field volume that it actually peaked. So that's one problem, but also the dubbing actor didn't do a good job of conveying that emotion. And people complained a lot, like it went on trending that night when episode 14 aired. People were like, what happened to this scene? This scene should be like one of the best scenes in the drama. So they redubbed a part of it like yesterday. And it's better than the first version now. I still don't think it's perfect, but just because they did it, like I am so thankful. Because it doesn't quite happen, really, with most of the dramas in this world. People wouldn't even bother to do that. But they listen, right? They listen. They say, okay, so this episode has a problem and people don't like it. Let's go back and see if we can fix it. So they go and fix small things here and there. The new version is a little bit better. So like, it's not ideal, but I'm so appreciative of that. Yeah, for the ring scene, go and watch it. You probably will have that reaction too. Is like, I I think the biggest problem of that is not even their acting. Their acting is okay. It is the pacing of the lines. Like when they speak something, should you give me a few seconds more breathing time to react, to process, and then, so maybe, and I think if they have it on the camera, they probably would edit it into, it probably just because they don't really have that much shots. They really didn't shoot it in that way, so it can't quite work. I have the feeling like the editing plus the directing of a couple of scenes in episode 14 is too hasty. It should be more breathing, because it is the first moment that when Kexing realizes that his dream is shattered. Like the hope that he had up to that point that he thinks is something that's worth living for, now is. So you need to give him more time. He needs to process it. And in that sequence, the editing is too fast. And then also they cut in two scenes with Xiang that totally breaks the emotional pacing of that scene. But then like, it's not the worst thing. It's just people have too much expectation. That's why like the episode 14 made a lot of people a little bit unhappy. And they did go back and redub it. So that's good. And it's real rain, yeah. So in episode 14, when you see the thunderstorm and the rain, it's real. And the funny thing for them is they did have the watering machine on set. They wanna do fake rain, but suddenly the weather changed and it starts to rain. So they was like, okay, since it's real rain, let's just go and film it right now. And I think the story on set was when the director said, when that whole scene was done, cut, the rain stopped. So it rained for them for that particular scene. Happens, you know. It's so cool. So you can see like in that scene, because the thunder and the lightning is really real. Like it's not fake lightning. You can tell that's different. And the rain falls on, because there's a water space and you can see like it extends really out, like all the ripples. It's not just in one section, there's a machine on top that's throwing water down. It's actually real rain, so it's really cool. But like when they got that right, maybe like, I don't know if they're chasing the real rain, that they made it really fast. Like the pacing is a little bit too fast. Yeah, there's so many funny things that happens with drama. Heaven blessed. What else can we talk about? Yeah, well, kind of roughly talked about costume. I like the costume in general. I think it's well designed. It's very painful for the actors to wear, but it's beautiful. It's pretty beautiful for their budget. They're like a low budget production, really. They've done a better job than most of the high production job for costumes. At this time, we should bring Legend of Fate out and whip over its dead body for a bit. That drama's costume is so bad. Okay, styling bad. Done. In comparison, okay, Shangheling is so much better. The costumes, huh? But it's hot. I can't imagine with that texture fabric and that many layers and in 40 degrees sun. Like even when you have fan, even if you have like a electronic fan, like it doesn't help. You're on the brink of like getting heat stroke. The lake scene, like the lake fighting scene, they had a big plan. I think the interview is like they actually wanted to do a very big fight that's gonna be like much longer than the version you see now in the drama. But when they planned for days to shoot that, but when they got there, the weather didn't work for them. And it rained a couple of days, so that the stuff that they've put in place, because they want to make the two actors actually fighting on water. So they've put the wooden poles under the water, just up to the water level, so that you can stand on it and it looks like you're standing on water. They've done that for that scene to happen, but weather changed. By the time they go and film it, the water level is too high, so you can't do that shot anymore. And because of the and also you can't stand very unbalanced on those poles because of weather change. So they had to change the plan of shooting that on set. So they changed it into the version you see with the raft of the bamboo. But initially it wasn't designed like that. It was designed as a different thing, and it was a bigger fighting scene. It just couldn't happen when they got there. So the version you see, which is okay now, it is shorter than they planned. But if they don't tell you, you wouldn't know, right? It's just like, it's a bummer, but hey. You win some, you lose some. Yeah, also the martial art director, or the fighting choreographer person, is the same. Like, it's the same team as Ultimate Note team. Do you know that? So the Ultimate Note's fighting designer, the whole team that does the work, is the same team that does Shanheling. Good to know. And it's a really good team. And this person, like the team, they have their own account, and they design fight sequences. And they actually designed a fight sequence that didn't, I think, happen in the drama, but they filmed it in a warehouse with the stunt double person, with the wire work and then CGI, and actually showed it online. It's like how they want the fight to happen. It's like how the fan hovers in mid-air and the person goes behind it, and like all that is on Weibo. The team actually did a version. It's like I think the version they want to do but didn't happen quite as it, but with two of the team person, like dressed a little bit like in costume but with normal short buzz cut hair in the warehouse with fake boxes stacking up as stuff, and they did that shot in Weibo and show you. It's really good. So it's like they can design absolutely stunning sequences, but obviously like when you actually go and shoot, you run into a lot of things. Weather, all kinds of restrictions, and then so what can happen on set, you know. I can't quite be sure about the name of the team. I will, like, do people actually have, like, I'm pretty sure for the 1,000 people who are watching live stream, you probably, or some of you must have seen it. If you don't, like, because if you have it, you know, like, let me think. I can go after this stream, go and try to find it, because it's a couple of days ago. But I can probably get it from internet, and then I'll put it somewhere. Maybe on Discord. Maybe like I'll try to find a place to throw it out. But it can't happen on my channel because of you know, I can't take other people's videos. I'll figure out. Yeah, Twitter probably has it. It just is like on whose account. I'll figure out a way to put it out somewhere. I'll go and find it. It's really cool. What else? This drama is just nice. What else can we talk about? All the secret talks. I think later, right? Like for the drama, it'll be less like all those stuff, because the early flirtatious stage is gone now. Now they're into the serious part. Although there are still a couple of lines that got dubbed over in episode 20. Yeah, 20. When they jumped over the cliff in episode 20, when you see, you will know. Before that, they had a conversation. They totally just. I have to thank this writer, because she's well versed, or like at least she knows where to go and find the references for literature. So she uses a lot of very stuff that's not directly like. I don't think even censorship people will immediately realize what's been done. 情场得意，战场失意. That is like, yeah, that is like a very on the top, like obviously you know what it is. It gets overdubbed, but I find it's really funny is after that he said a line, 周相公. And what's been spoken afterwards, that line actually comes from, I think, Jin Pingmei. Literally is like somebody referring to themselves as like endearing, calling themselves like in the like wife and husband relationship stuff. Yeah. And you know, like Zhou Xiang is like okay, but afterwards he said that line, which is I think is a Mingqing novel style term of calling yourself, and it's obviously teasing, but it's not a common thing that gets used these days, so people probably don't realize it is. But when you know, it's like holy moly, you're putting that reference too. And then when Zhou Zishu is hopping over the cliff, and then Wen Kexing is like, you know, like trying to catch him. The music that's being played at the moment, pay attention to on the left of on the right of the screen. The characters written is 江水为竭. So one of the line in the song is 江水为竭, which comes from 山无棱，天地合，乃敢与君绝. If you've been watching my videos on poetry references, I've already talked about that one. It already happened, I think, in one of the Fan Xian video. That's a love poem. And it also happens in 还珠格格, Return of the Pearl Princess. Right? So like there's so much reference. Like they just squeeze it in every corner you can find. It's like it's in the song. It's in the lines. It's in the It's in the 贴烧饼. So I'm gonna make videos on that in the future to make everyone be aware, okay, of what actually happens. So I will make videos about the references because there's a lot, so probably one video is not going to be enough. It's definitely not going to be enough. It's too much. Like if I have to dig at every poem they use, they probably is going to run into like what, how many, three, 4 videos, and some of them are not so worth talking about. For example, like it's not directly referring to a plot or like they're flirting, but it's like a more so like I have to decide like what I would use for that video, but I will, okay. I will make videos. Although like I'm constantly like now, okay, so for the drama it updates at 6 o'clock in China in the evening, which is 4 a.m. where I am, and I've been waking up by 5 a.m. for the drama since last week. So now my biological clock has been turned to 5 o'clock morning. And I just wake up at that time when I really want to sleep. So, oh, also, like you probably can tell in the stream, because I pretty much still look like what I look like, but I've lost weight. I've lost weight. I've lost sleep watching this drama because I spend too long focusing on making videos and doing other stuff. I literally forget eating. Like under normal circumstances at a particular time, I would usually be eating. I am editing stuff, and then when I realize it's too late and I'm tired, so I go to sleep. So I've been cutting down my diet unintentionally because I spend too much time on this drama. So now I've lost weight, I've lost sleep. Now I feel like this is like what people are like when they are in love, like, and also like when they're kind of at early stage of being crazy. So I've asked online, was like, how many people is like are like me, and they're like, I've lost weight. Like a lot of people have lost weight actually. A lot of people have lost weight watching Word of Honor. Like how can you anticipate that actually a drama can actually be a diet device? Because I wake up in the morning, I literally like I look at myself in the mirror. I was like, okay, I haven't been this thing for a while. So if it happened to you, okay, just know that you're not the only one.秃头, okay, yeah, losing hair, lost weight. Literally, yeah, it's like not good, okay, for long term, but for a while it's okay. It's okay. And then the drama only has like a 10 days, probably more, right, online, really. on air, and it's gonna end. So we have about 10 days to go. Okay, so we've already had 2 hours. I think I'll just be here for another 10 minutes and I have to go. It's too much, and people are going to sleep, I know. Wherever you are, you probably are midnight already. Over past midnight. 10 more minutes, and we can talk about this drama forever, really. There's so much to talk about, but we've already said too much. And if, like, by the end of the drama, you know, it surprises me with even better moments, and it gets me even crazier, we can do another stream. Like, you know, there's no rules for me. I just fell into this scheduling thing of doing the videos on the time I do them, and then every month I do a live stream. But really, there's nothing to stop me from doing more. So, let's say when the drama finishes airing the week after next week, around the 22nd, 3rd day in China, we can do another stream. But then I think a lot of people, international audiences, will get spoiled because your 进度条 your timeline is a little bit behind. But the thing is, once the drama comes out, everybody would know, really. Like, how can you restrain yourself from knowing what happened? I mean, you can just basically know what happens, and you don't go and watch it, and then you watch it later, right? But you still know what happens. What am I saying? So now I'm curious to see a couple of moments. I'm curious to see, obviously, the big fight in the end, which definitely is going to be important. I want to see how they end, how they wrap Gu Xiang and Cao Weining's story. Because we all know how it's going to end, but I want to see, like, the specific execution of how that's done on camera and on screen, for sure. I want to see how Baiyi ends. I really do. Yeah, and all the in-between moments of people. Episode 22, right? Wen Kexing is gonna do his first blood scene, which is like, we all look forward to that. Let's be honest, okay? And Zhou Zishu being captured and coming and get saved. This time is for sure Denzo in distress. Yeah, and the cliff for sure. What happens? Yeah, those are probably the highlight moments for the next 15 episodes. Yeah. Seventh Lord, yeah, Seventh Lord coming out, Zhou Ye, for sure. I don't know, like, how they're gonna do his role, whether they're gonna actually refer or do a little bit intertextuality thing with that. Actually suggesting a little bit more about his story. It will be interesting to see how they do that. Zhou Ye is just like so 白月光, the white moonlight. And in the book, it's funny because when Zhou Ye, the Wei Zheming played character who is gonna show up next week probably. In the book, it's so funny because when he showed up, Wen Kexing just went full jealous husband mode. Because Seventh is good-looking as hell. And one of the prettiest person that Wen Kexing has ever seen in his life, although he is good-looking too, right? But he hasn't really seen a man that good-looking. So he's shocked by how good-looking Seventh is. And also, because Seventh and Zhou Zishu are close friends, and they've known each other for years. And they have very long past history in living in that capital, kind of, and working in the highest level of the power structure. In the book version, okay, in the book version. So Zhou Zishu's previous friends and friend circles are all princes, like dukes, kings, strongest officials of the land. And he was like, he has the best things of that world, right? He's seeing the coolest. He's the top level person. And Wen Kexing is literally a person who grew up in a mountain, and he was literally a farmer and a peasant and like never seeing anything. So it's actually like in the beginning, it's really funny. It's like, I have a big boat, you know. Wen Kexing is like, go and Zhou Zishu, although he's like a beggar, right, dressed up like that, but he's actually like, huh. he probably like in his internal monologue is like, that is like worse than my usual, you know, like when I go out and work, my boat is better than yours, that type of thing. It's so funny. So in the book, Wen Kexing, when he first met Qi Ye, he's just so shocked that this guy is so good looking and he's so close a friend of Zhou Zishu, and he just immediately go all wow. It's like jealous as hell, right? Drinking vinegar like hell, and he's just get away from my man. And he didn't know that Qi Ye has his own CP. Qi Ye has his own person. Like he totally just, it's so funny in the book. Like the way he reacts is totally a child. Thank you for your super chat. Bliss, beauty, and glitter. Fun hanging out with you on this end. You're welcome. Thank you for your super chat. So I can't wait. Like, I don't know how much they're gonna put that on screen for this drama when Qi Ye shows up and Wen Kexing goes crazy. It's like, this is my bai cai. 不要拱我的白菜, right? You pig. Don't 拱我的白菜. Do you know the term that he uses for Cao Weining trying to, you know, get 故乡? And just like, Zhou Zishu told him, your bai cai is being gonged by that pig. Yeah, 京城白富美和老土猫真的是这样. Truly, it is like that. Zhou Zishu is the capital of Bai Fu Mei. Literally means pale, rich, and pretty, right? And Wen Kexing is the countryside, the two person who actually have. And it's so funny. Like, I really like the acting. Do you remember them in the episode? Is that 8 or 10, around that place when they went into this restaurant? And then Zhou Zishu did this with the chopstick and put a bean on top, and the servant comes in immediately and they start to talk what we call 切口. 切口is like the Jianghu specific terms. So for people, if you are in the Jianghu world, you have those ciphers, like you talk about things, and each word would refer to something, and so you can have that sort of dark conversation. And the Xiao Er is like they're talking to Zhou Zishu, and Wen Kexing on the side is just like it's like, I'm so confused. And afterwards he's like a kid. He's like, what are you just doing? Like, what did you just say? It's so funny, that thing. And Zhou Zishu is like, you don't actually know. you actually have no idea what I'm doing. And Wen Kexing is caught by that, and he's like embarrassed. He immediately, like, blow it over, like brush it over. It's like, no, I know. I'm just like, but it's clearly he doesn't know what's being spoken. It's like the secret cipher language of Jianghu, because of he hasn't really lived in the human normal world for all his life, pretty much. So he actually has no idea what's being spoken, and I found that so funny. Thank you for your super chat, Jenny Ling. Yeah, and that moment when you go and watch the acting, right? It's like I said, it's in the moment acting, like that. These two, when they're like looking at each other, and that time and pacing, and it's just so like real people. It's so funny. Yeah, so I should end this stream now, and if the drama gets even more excited, you'll see me scream. You'll see me scream on my community post, on my social media, on blah blah blah, Discord, everywhere, and I'll let you know. And then if there's a next one worth doing, I'll do another live stream, and I'll do videos on the poetry reference. And if there's more, because there are a couple of more lip dubbing thing, and I'll collect more to make a video for the later episodes. And well, let me think what else. Yeah, pretty much like I'll be online all the time. If you're on Discord, you can add me about stuff. Okay, so hope you will all enjoy the rest of the drama. I hope this drama, after this drama, I'm happy that for those two actors, right? They are in a different place. This is the type of drama that would just put you in a different category, kind of for good, which is just very good. Okay, thanks for joining me. It's been 2 hours, and if you're still somewhere midnight, oh well, respect. Respect. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye. And thanks to all the person who has sent me super chat. Really, really appreciate that. Take care. Wow, somebody sent like I almost clicked stop. Thanks again for super chat as GD. Okay, and then take care. Bye bye.